Welcome back to another Dove and Finn movie review segment. We just released our review for the Meg to the Trench, so please go check out that. That was a fun time reviewing a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was.
And now it's time to move on to Oppenheimer, aka Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan is a guy that over the past 3 years, I'm gonna be brutally honest, I've hated his last few movies. I have not standed them, and Oppenheimer is no exception to that. Finn, where are you on Christopher Nolan's career? What do you think of his newer attempt of movies like Tenet? And
I haven't seen Tenet.
Right, and all of that. And what did you think of Oppenheimer?
I think Christopher Nolan is a very good director. He probably even a great director. I want to clarify, he did probably my favourite movie, or at least top 5, The Dark Knight.
I would agree
he
that is
did,
top 10 best comic book movies. Actually, maybe even top 5, actually.
Oh, no. For me, it's like top 5 movies I've ever seen.
Top 5 best movies of all time.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, right,
For
okay.
me personally.
Yeah.
He also did some other good movies, like The Prestige is really good, and he did other movies as well.
Did Christopher Nolan do the one where, was it, I think it was Christian Bale, he lost like a shit ton of weight, and it was like, he was super skinny, he looked like
The
a
Machinist,
skeleton?
yes.
Okay, so Christopher Nolan, did you direct that one?
Actually, I don't know, but The Machinist was a good movie, though.
Yeah, I was like, I have a feeling he did direct it, but I don't think that's in his career.
Maybe he did
in his
do it.
filmography.
But yeah, I haven't seen his later stuff. But yeah, Oppenheimer was a movie with a lot of hype behind it, and
I mean, Christopher Nolan's name, like as soon as you attach his name to a movie, like it's instantly going to sell tickets.
Christopher Nolan, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. Matt Damon.
Oh yeah, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt.
Emily Blunt's in this as well.
Emily Blunt, Rami Malek.
I totally forgot he was in this movie, Rami Malek.
A massive cast.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr. How can we forget that name? Oh shit, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is in this. Yeah.
But yeah, very, very anticipated movie. Very favourable reviews. I thought it wasn't as good as the reviews were making it out to be.
No, everybody was saying that this was like the Shakespeare film of Christopher Nolan's career.
But I would say it was probably an above average movie.
Yeah. I flat out hated this movie. I haven't liked Christopher Nolan's newer work. Tenet is the film that's really turned me down to Christopher Nolan in recent years, because Tenet was just a film that was just confusing in all areas of the universe. I think that is one of the worst movies ever made, and I can already see myself getting a lot of flag in the comments, Finn, from a lot of diehard Nolan fans, because I know a lot of people like Tenet.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Tenet, but I flat out hated that movie. And so Oppenheimer, it looked like he was back to basics, because this is a very well-known story. This is a very popular story that I think a lot of people know of. And this was
based off a true story.
Yeah, this was our first. This was
to my knowledge of the story. It was fairly accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But getting into our thoughts on the movie, Finn. What was some stuff that you liked? Some stuff that you didn't like? Let's go from negatives to positives here.
Negatives. It was too long.
Yeah,
it didn't need to be 3 hours.
The movie's 3 hours long.
I think 2.5 or just 2 would have been better. Let's see, other negatives for me. Some of the scenes were boring. If you don't like politics or theoretical physics, then this movie is not for you. Because it doesn't really explain it at all.
Yeah, no, that's where one of my problems come into play with this movie, Finn.
Yeah.
Because the first act, you hear all of these scientific words, but there's really no explanation to them. Like, they're mentioned like you're supposed to know what they mean already. And I don't know, Christopher Nolan, he has a habit with that of just putting the words on the screen that we're supposed to know the meaning of, but that for people that that did not do science in school or have no idea on physics or any of that, you're going to be lost.
Definitely.
And I think another problem I have, which I don't think I've mentioned to you, you and I have had numerous conversations about this movie, but yeah, the editing in this film I think is Nolan's worst. Because the first act in particular I think has not the worst editing of the year, but I mean, as far as his career goes, this is definitely the most disappointing because there's this whole there's a lot of scenes where it cuts from Cillian Murphy's face to a screen of black with a few squiggly lines, a few little white dots, and while the reason and motivation for that I like, it's the fact that it rapidly cuts. There's no kind of transition into his mind. It's just instantly going from a face shot or a wide shot or some kind of shot into what he's thinking. And just that was something that I did not appreciate. It was very, very distracting to watch.
I didn't hate that, honestly. I thought it was alright,
Yeah.
I think I get what the intention was behind it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the intention is there, but I just don't think. I feel like it could have been edited in a way where it just wasn't so distracting because, one time you're in reality, and then the very next shot you're in just this blank space, and it just there's no transition towards the two of them. And
I think they were meant to be like atoms or wavelengths or something, and I guess that is kind of what everything is when it's
wasn't it supposed to be
small.
what he was thinking?
I thought he was imagining or he was trying to. Maybe it's what he was thinking. I'm not sure.
That's what I took away from it. That was his brain trying to process all of it. But then I think a few seconds before like that type of shot happens, I think the word atom or a word is mentioned that is supposed to be the transition into it.
Yeah.
And another thing that I wasn't a huge fan of the movie is largely boring. Keep in mind, I might be a bit hypocritical here when I say this, but I'm not someone for dialogue-heavy films. And I think, this film is all dialogue, which I don't mind. As long as it's interesting dialogue, as long as it's something that the audience can understand, I think, that's when it's good dialogue, to me. But there's just so many scenes in this film where there's a lot of one-off conversations and then that's it. And then it never comes back into play. Emily Blunt's... is it Emily Blunt? Yeah, no, Emily Blunt's character, which was Oppenheimer's, I believe, first wife. I believe at the end they divorced, if I remember that correctly.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I totally forgot she was even in the movie. And, it just felt like that storyline just didn't really lead to anywhere. It definitely comes back into play in the third act of the film when everything that Oppenheimer has ever done in his life kind of comes crashing down. And all of his life's work has kind of been, turned against him and all that, and has been put in the hands of the US government.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why it's there is for Emily Blunt's character to be interviewed at the end of the movie, and for the movie to kind of push a point that Oppenheimer may or may not be a good guy in the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
At least that's why I viewed it. What was your take on it, Finn?
The whole Emily Blunt thing, I don't really remember it, to be honest. I remember there was a whole thing about his first wife and his second wife and that other woman he was dating, but yes. I don't really remember where much of that led to. A lot of the movie was about his trial for his security clearance, like a surprising amount of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I don't know. I've kind of mixed feelings about that. Like it was kind of interesting, but you know, and there's a nice twist at the end relating to that, which I didn't see coming. So
No,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about there. You know, this isn't a film I completely hate though. There's definitely still a lot of stuff to like in here. Robert Downey Jr.
he was really good.
I think he's outstanding. Like, I think it was his last scene. I think is the most emotional I've ever seen him go with a role. And just you know you see, we won't get into specifics here, but there's a scene, in this room where he's completely broken down, where he feels like he has lost his case. And
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was really
he's
good
just
in it.
breaking down, and he's I think from memory he's throwing stuff across the room and all of that, and just like that scene is just so powerful. I think it's the most powerful scene in the movie.
Well, his character starts like calm, but he gets
Yeah.
more and more erratic as he goes on, which is really
Yeah,
nicely
which
done.
I like that because I think that made for some very nice tension throughout the film.
So did I, yeah.
And you know, like I also liked the black and white filter for that they put over that scene.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
I thought that was a very nice touch. I thought that was a very nice touch there. Cillian Murphy, I thought he was pretty good in the movie.
I like Cillian Murphy. He's a good
I
actor.
didn't think he was great. What did you think of his portrayal of Oppenheimer?
I don't know. Like I thought he was really good. I think Cillian Murphy's a very good actor. I liked him in the Dark Knight trilogy. I thought he was really good in Peaky Blinders. One small thing is his accent was a bit odd, but maybe that's just how Oppenheimer spoke. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's because he's an Irishman pretending to be an American who could also speak Dutch. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing in the movie that, that was a big disappointment, if I haven't already got enough flag now, like this one's definitely gonna put me on the record here for being probably the only person in the world for not liking this scene.
Yeah.
The bomb scene. The bomb scene in this movie I thought was a massive disappointment. Like I can already see it. I'm pissing off a lot of Nolan fans here.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pissing off so many
I mean,
people.
I like the bomb scene. I mean, I think there was too much hype around the bomb scene. Like the reviews were kind of leading it up to be like the best scene in all of cinema or whatever.
Yes.
And it wasn't, but it was a good scene. I thought it was a good scene.
Yeah.
But why didn't you like it?
Problems for me is, I don't know a whole lot of information about nuclear weaponry. So, I could be wrong. Like, I don't know, maybe my logic behind this just isn't right. But from my understanding, isn't when bombs get dropped, it's supposed to be a loud bang? It's not supposed to be just dead silent. It's just like for a good minute after the bombs dropped, when you're seeing, the big, cloud of smoke and all that, and fire. It's like where's the sound we've all been waiting for? Like we see this wind being pushed back, but that's it.
I actually really liked that, how it was
I didn't like the
silent,
silence.
you don't hear anything, which is rare in the movie, really rare in the movie, to actually hear
why did you actually like that though?
Because sometimes silence can speak a lot louder than like words or
Yeah,
any other sound.
true.
Like there's nothing, and then it just goes down, it's like,
Yeah.
and then my throat's really dry, I can't really do a good sound, but like it just gets louder and louder, and the explosion gets bigger and bigger, which I really liked.
Yeah, and then by the end there was the loud boom, but and I just felt like the way that scene was also directed was just also very odd to me. One of the things I did like is while that scene was very much centered, on the bomb itself, I liked how we saw it from Cillian Murphy's eyes, how we saw his creation, coming to life here.
Yeah.
I really liked how almost a lot of the shots in that scene were his expression. I really, really liked that because, you can tell just, I think one thing I loved about Cillian Murphy in the film is, there's scenes where he doesn't even speak.
Yeah.
But you can just tell on his face that there's so much emotion. There's
Cillian Murphy is really good at, I kind of knew this from Peaky Blinders, but Cillian Murphy is really good at using his face to tell
tell what he's
to
feeling.
tell like the emotions, the expressions, the story.
Yeah, which I thought he nailed that in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Bob scene I was not a fan of. Like, I don't want to come across as as a Nolan hater. I feel like that's the way everybody's kind of going to be looking at this review and all of that. I don't want it to come across that way, Finn.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to give my best reasons for why I just genuinely did not like the way certain things were done. Certain things were done in the movie. But yeah, the bomb scene, there's also a lot of logic issues with this. I mean, there's definitely something to say about about how much these people actually knew kind of going into this bomb and all that, and setting it off. But one of the problems I did have that as I was sitting and reflecting on the movie, you have all of these very famous people and important people sitting around for the drop of the nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow these people don't die. Are you actually kidding me here?
Well, when it was being tested.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. When they actually dropped it, for the first time.
Well, when they actually dropped it, they would have been miles and miles away, like in a different country. Like
No, because Oppenheimer, he was in a base, but then there were these people sitting on top of cars and all that, sitting in their car, and somehow these people.
That part, yeah.
It's somehow these.
Yeah,
these
that's
people,
a good point. I don't know. Maybe
maybe
they are testing.
maybe they died later on, but they say, what was it, 2000 was it?
That wasn't the actual bomb. That was the test.
But still, that would have the chemicals that a nuclear bomb would have.
Yeah. One thing I did think was a huge disappointment was you never see the actual bombs get dropped on Japan. It's just mentioned.
I think the reason for that is because this is a criticism, but also I guess a positive is because this movie, I mean, I don't think it's very much focused on the actual war side of things. Like, it's mentioned a lot. It's mentioned, like Hitler's plan and all that. All that's mentioned in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the movie is very much from Oppenheimer's perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
I think by cutting to war, your brain is now being contracted to focus on two different plots that are happening at the same time. And so I think it was good that they left it out. While I would have liked, so there's a positive side of it. The negative side is I would have liked to see the war actually go on. I would have actually liked to see a recreation of that scene, like go down where they drop the actual bomb and kill thousands. I think that would have been. I would have especially loved to see Nolan's take on that. And I think adding in some war elements as well. I think definitely would have made the movie a lot more entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think there would have been a lot more to enjoy, because I don't know, just to me, to a point, a lot of the talking really, some of the conversations really dragged on in this movie. I like the beginning of the movie. Just kind of go back a bit here. I love the beginning of the movie because how nobody's on Oppenheimer's side. Like, everybody just thinks he is a wannabe person here, and how he has this big vision that no one else has.
When he's studying.
Yeah. Like how he has this idea that no one has any faith in, and everybody's doubting him, saying that this isn't going to work. You can't mix these two together, and all of that. I really liked it. I really liked his arc throughout the whole movie. I think his character really just builds and builds and builds with every single scene. And I think not only does that come in with the script, but I also think that also has to do with Cillian Murphy's performance in this as well.
Yeah, his performance was really good.
What else is there to say?
I wanted to mention a specific scene.
Yeah, go ahead.
This was later in the film, not earlier, but with the bombing afterwards, where he goes to meet the president, Harry Truman. Now, apparently this one is exaggerated, but like he goes to meet Harry Truman, and then Harry says, like, you know, Truman says, like, oh, they don't care about the people that made the bomb, they care about me because I dropped the bomb. And he leaves and he says something like, you know, get that crybaby out of my room.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That kind of got like a shocked reaction from everyone in the cinema. Everyone was like, huh,
yeah.
did he
No,
really say that?
Yeah, no, that scene that actually shocked me. I was expecting
Yeah.
him to, you know, shake his hand and be like, you know, you have done something good here.
Yeah.
But no, he just shuts him out.
Yeah.
I was shocked by that. I was like, holy shit, you're really ripping him off basically everything that he's known for now.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I think...
Well, he got mad at him because, well, I don't know if this was like this in real life, but in the movie he got mad at him because he said, you know, he asked him if he felt like he had blood on his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, that scene I thought was good. That I did not expect. I was expecting just like a you know, like a warm thank you kind of scene. But no, I was a little bit shocked by that. My favorite part of the film is by far the political aspect.
Yeah, I
like
agree with that.
the ending of the film, all of the debating, all of the arguing, all of the, you know, like, remember, you know, this point in time. You know, I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the ending had probably the best tension in the entire movie. It was directed superbly. I don't think I could have done anything better than that. And I liked how, you know, I liked how, you know, they kind of brought in multiple perspectives. You know, they brought in Matt Damon's perspective. They brought in, you know, some of his wives' perspectives and all of that to say. And what did they say Oppenheimer was?
Communist.
Yeah, there we go, communist. Yeah, that really backfired on him. Really backfired on him in the ending of the movie.
Yeah, no, he got his thing taken from him. I believe in real life it didn't get overturned until after he died.
Really?
So the whole thing with everyone giving him back his medals and congratulating him, that didn't happen.
So that never happened. So that's really like a fictional event.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was already dead by the time they overturned that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's there was something else I was going to say here. There's there's definitely a lot to get into and to break down in this movie. I felt like there were a lot of characters. There were a lot of characters in the film that I felt like just kind of showed up and then had a small conversation. Like Albert Einstein. I mean, I see the importance of his character. I just didn't really think he was really necessary in the overall picture of the film. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flag for that, but
it was more like a cameo almost.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it felt like. Yeah, I'm actually so glad you agree on that. Actually, what are some other stuff that you liked, Finn? We are gonna get into spoilers. That's gonna be in the title, so that's alright, Finn. Talk about some.
I was really disappointed that Heisenberg wasn't played by Bryan Cranston.
Oh, fuck me. It was that, Finn. What was that?
Well, Heisenberg makes a brief cameo and he's played by some completely other guy.
Oh, yes. We have to hashtag release the Oppenheimer cut and just have Bryan Cranston as a replacement in the movie. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of everything that happened, but I really like. This is a very weird point to point out here.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that Oppenheimer smokes, because especially in the end, like you can totally understand his motives for being a chain smoker.
I mean, I think everyone was back in the day.
Yeah, because it
was a completely different time.
Yeah, because from memory, back then they marketed it as the next big thing. There wasn't any there wasn't any cancer pictures, or no one even knew that these things cause cancer until way down the line. And so I think everybody was doing it back then. But I thought that created a lot of tension. And with the amount of stress and the amount of pressure that he has on his shoulders, I can see why. Another scene that I thought was actually phenomenal, Finn. This is probably one of my favorite scenes in the film, where after the bomb is dropped, he goes up on stage and everybody's clapping for him, and saying like, yeah, good job, well
Yeah.
done, we are going to kill this and this. And then I think it was a few seconds after that, you see a vision. You see all these flashing lights, and then you just see people's burning bodies, and you see
The
all
skin peeling off and
yeah,
stuff.
that I thought was fucking
That
rad.
was really well done.
That was rad. It was actually horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what Nolan did, but it was only like a 2-second image, but I thought it was horrific.
There were a lot of scenes, especially after it's mentioned that the bomb has dropped or leading up to it. There were a lot of the scenes, like where Oppenheimer has these like anxiety attacks,
Yeah.
and they do it really well. Like, it's
Yeah.
edited really well, and it
And,
definitely looks like
one
what
image
it's like.
one image I still have in my head, Finn, is it was the first time we went up on stage and talked about the bomb publicly, and there's this chick clapping, or sorry, lady, but it's like
Yeah.
just like clapping, and as she was clapping, just saw the flesh come off her as she was smiling. I was just like, that is horrifying. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that is horrifying to look at. And then I believe after that, you see dead bodies and all that, and you see people, crying over, the death of loved ones, and you see just the effect that it's done, and just, it is massive.
yeah, definitely.
And it's just, I don't know, that I love it. I don't know if that happened in real life or not, but it would not surprise me.
I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened to the people like that
Oh,
got
yeah.
bombed, but
Oh,
I don't
it
know if
would've.
that's how he saw it in real life.
Yeah, no, like it would have, like he definitely would have had, anxiety attacks, for sure. But yeah, no, those scenes I thought were phenomenal. Like, that is like pure horror to me. Is something that is just like, something that you're seeing, but
Yeah.
but you can't help but to think to yourself that you're the cause for this. You're the cause of millions of deaths.
Yeah.
Even though with Oppenheimer, he, all throughout the film, he's trying to be a good guy. He's trying to be a good guy. Like, it's, I think the bad people and the villains of this movie very much are the U.S. government, especially after they take the bomb off him and all that, Finn.
Yeah, no,
And-
yeah, in the movie, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're the ones too was dropping on China, was it?
Japan.
Yeah, so Japan and all that, and they're the bad people of this. Like, Oppenheimer kept on pushing and just defending his point that he is innocent here, that he was trying to create something, to do good. He wasn't trying to do anything bad. So I think, thanks to the US government, I think, that's why I think it's 5 countries now that has nuclear weapons. I know Russia has some.
Russia, China, America, India.
Wasn't it South America?
No, South America isn't a country. India, Pakistan, I don't know. I think that's it. There may be one or two more. England and France.
Yeah, right. But and
also Iran is trying to build them.
Really, trying to build them.
Allegedly.
Where did you hear that?
I've just heard it from people, but that
is interesting. All right.
Yeah.
And I think thanks to the US government and them taking it off, I feel like that's kind of why more countries have it. Is because I think right after this, I think they saw the advent. I'm not sure. The movie doesn't really go into this. Did the US government actually feel bad for dropping it on Japan or not? I think they always viewed
Probably not.
They always viewed it as a good thing for memory.
Yeah, I don't think they feel that bad about it, but I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. But like I think like Oppenheimer, I think he's definitely a good guy. I think he had all the right morals going for him in the movie, and it's just it's when everything kind of gets taken away from him and he actually sees the effect of the creation that he did. But then also, I don't like to get political in my videos, Finn. But I think thanks to him, I think that's why we live in a world with a weapon that could destroy us in a second.
Very true, yeah.
And
there is a lot I could say about Oppenheimer and nuclear weapons and such, but I probably shouldn't get too political.
If any country did decide to drop a bomb, we would have no idea.
That's true, yeah.
There would be no warning. And so, I think I think it was. I think I'm trying to look at the movie in a different perspective here. I think if you're a good fan.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think if the nuclear weapon was left in Oppenheimer's hands, I feel like I don't think the situation would be as worse as what it was. Because I think the whole point of the bomb was for Oppenheimer to create it, and then for the US to take it over, just so they could drop it.
Yes.
So that, they could drop. They never had any intention on kind of giving it back, or giving him any ownership of it, besides giving him just a shit ton of hate at the end of the movie and really blaming him for the deaths. I call bullshit on that. Like, none of this is his fault.
Yeah.
He had no idea that the US government was going to do this to him.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, yeah, I have mixed feelings from what I know of Oppenheimer as a person, but once again, that might get too political for YouTube.
What are some of your mixed feelings on Oppenheimer?
Well,
I'm already kind of introducing the subject of political now, so just carry on with it.
I mean, he kind of like, I don't know, like, well, he did make the bombs that did end up, killing how many 100,000 people.
But he was not the one to drop it on Japan.
No, I guess not. But he didn't sign that treaty that Russian dude told him to sign.
Yeah, no, like
He said him and those other scientists were gonna do a treaty to, a treaty petition, whatever, to try and make. I mean, petitions don't often do much, but they were at least trying to not have them bomb Japan, and Oppenheimer didn't really do anything about it.
No. Well, like I don't know if he just didn't think that they were serious or not about it.
Yeah,
I did not think, but like none of it like is his fault. Like I think he wanted to create something for the right reasons. So, and then what other mixed feelings did you have on Oppenheimer?
I don't know. He cheated. Like, he cheated in his relationships. I don't like people that cheat.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Yeah. And also,
yeah,
Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. This is the first Christopher Nolan film where there's like a full-on sex scene.
Yes.
I can't think of a single Christopher Nolan. That's correct. I can't think of a Christopher Nolan film where there is a single sex scene.
Yeah,
and I'll not lie. The chick in that scene is very attractive.
Yeah,
she is very good looking.
Yeah, and then during that sex scene, there's a reference to that quote he says, Some kind of, they have this kind of Marvel moment where, Oppenheimer says, I'm